Natural.
Problem.
Bother.
Blood. Mush.
Blood. Pain.
Stupid.
Blood.
Embarrassing.
Blood.
Rat sex.
What do all of these words have in common?
Period. Did all of that make you feel uncomfortable?
Good.
So why are we talking about periods?
Because menstruation concerns everyone, whether you're a menstruator or not.
Because menstrual equality is gender equality.
And because we want to change the way periods are portrayed in the media.
What else is as taboo everywhere around the world? Like, it's one of the main things I think we have in common in terms of something that people don't want to talk about.
I grew up in a place where it's a taboo and we don't talk about it. I was always ashamed. I was always hiding and I didn't want to know anybody to know that I had periods or that I hit puberty. It was very hard.
Actually,
The word taboo
Comes from the
Polynesian word
Tepua.
which means menstruation. No way.
That explains why I always thought it was a taboo.
Majority of women and girls, I think, suffer quietly, suffer to ourselves.
The way periods are portrayed in the media leads us to believe that they are something to be ashamed of and should be hidden.
Even ads for menstruation products use this like blue fluid that's like completely sanitized and like in no way, shape or form do you ever want to hint at the fact that it's blood.
Everybody knows how this is going to end up looking by the end of the time.
But this is changing. Spearheading this change is Nadia Okamoto with her book, Period Power. While reading this in public, I caught myself putting it face down because I was embarrassed.
This feeling of shame became the motivation behind this video series.
And so this is why we're here.
To normalize the conversation. Okay, pause. You're probably wondering, why is a guy talking to you about periods? Fair point. But according to Nadia, when we have the freedom and the platform to ask questions, challenge systems, and speak out, we have the responsibility to do so. Because so many in this world, including in our own communities, may still feel silenced about certain issues, such as the lack of access to period products.
It does affect everyone, even if you're not a menstruator, but it more or less might have some impact on you.
Period positivity movement also should apply to men, and this idea of like creating a space where people who menstruate feel like they can talk about it openly in front of people who don't. And I think men have a big role to play in facilitating those conversations because people might not bring it up in the first place.
This girl in my grade 7 class had her first period and she was super embarrassed and didn't come to school for like 3 days. Everybody was kind of like, oh, that's so gross.
Menstrual equality is gender equality because menstruators' access to education is limited by their period.
20% of girls
In India,
Drop out of school.
when they get their first period. Wow.
Wow.
That's really sad for the idea that there's like no reason for them to stop other than something they can't control.
Who knows what those girls would have become and who knows what those girls would have contributed to the environment and to medical needs or even just being a wonderful woman in the community, being supportive and stuff like that to others. That's such a shame.
Many menstruators also cannot afford or access basic hygiene products, a term known as period poverty.
It's so expensive. Like, I'm sorry, but like, I can't choose between eating and like not bleeding out.
oh, it gets worse.
Currently, in 35 states and many countries around the world, period hygiene products are still being taxed, making them non-necessities, whereas Viagra and Rogaine are not.
Oh my god, shut the fuck up!
You look at Trump and you're like, yeah, of course Viagra and Rogaine would be more fun.
That's a choice that you're partaking in to grow your hair, to like have sex, you know, you could just not, whereas like period products is like you can't just not, otherwise everybody would just not, you know? You could switch it off, you would. It's not a luxury to have a period.
So you can see that there's still a lot of work to be done.
Start a conversation.
Talk about it. Let's create a society where we are no longer ashamed to keep this book face up.